Yeah, welcome back to the Fireside Gathering Brawl 2017. I'm once again back to the stream, Typhon Hawk, and this time joined with Nuralka.
Mm-hmm.
This is our first time casting together,
Yeah, I think so.
so yeah, it's probably going to be really interesting to see the next game. And
Yeah, so the next game will be a semi-final between Milan and Moscow.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
and
So,
we have progressed quite far already now in our bracket and have seen quite interesting games. Is there anything that stands out for you? One particular moment that you really enjoyed?
yeah, like Hoy, he won with the Reno Warlock against the Reno Mage and the
Yeah,
lethal spot with the Leopard Gnome and everything. That was, yeah,
yeah,
quite impressive. Yeah.
yeah. That was really really interesting. And what I really liked about it was how fast he was with it. I was
Mm-hmm.
sitting here and also thinking about the turn and was like, okay, if you attack with a leper gnome, if you attack the water elemental, how much damage can you do? But it seemed that for him, he already knew all the possibilities and exactly what he needed to get from
Yeah.
the Kazakus potion to basically be able to achieve lethal in that turn. And it was also a really interesting game because it was not like some games, there's one player ahead and he
Mm-hmm.
just proceeds to play down the game and win in the end. But in that game, it felt like both players had moments where they had really, really huge swing turns and
Yeah, and in the
could,
end, you thought he could never win this, and yeah,
yeah,
he did it. So
yeah, well
pro
done by him.
pro player confirmed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, we learned a lot there in that game. And yeah, once again, of course, thank you to our sponsors who made the entire event possible with Meltdown and Roquette sponsoring us a prize pool of 210 euros, actually. 90 euros going to the first place, 70 to the second place, and 50 to the third place. So both of the teams we will be watching are
Mm.
playing for at least 70 euros. Winning gets you to the final where you get at least the second place, of course. So
And also some hardware, I think, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and Blizzard goodies. So a lot on the line. Now
Worth.
we are getting to the point where the matches really, really count and can make you rich, basically,
Yeah.
for playing Hearthstone.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Nice picture over there
yeah,
from Harlequin.
Harlequin, as he is always, sideways.
That's me, I think,
Yeah,
on the German Beast stream.
that's Niveau.
Okay.
Yeah, we had also some really nice pictures from all the locations, and that was really nice to see, in my opinion, with who is
Mm.
sitting where and playing, watching us, and so on. So really nice to see, as we can see here as well in the picture, the action going on everywhere in Europe, and of course also a big shout out to the other streams happening at the same time. There's a Spanish stream and an Italian stream going on. Of course, also our German stream in the other room over there. Yeah, so also a lot of casters committed to the event and yeah, having fun, hopefully.
Yeah, it's always a great atmosphere if you have a local location and there's
Yeah,
an esport event like Hearthstone, Fireside gatherings, and yeah, it's always fun. Yeah.
yeah. We have already the deck lists, I think, from the two locations, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
We don't know which player exactly will.
yeah, so there isn't too much use in talking about the deck lists now because we have three players playing against three players, so there's at least 9 different matchups we could discuss. So that's maybe a little bit excessive and not really that helpful. So we will be wait until we know exactly who is playing.
Yeah.
But so far, I think we have seen a lot of the standard decks, nothing really out of the ordinary. A lot of
Mm.
pirate warriors, quite a few Reno mages, quite a few Reno warlocks, I would say.
Mm.
Different versions of the shaman. I think we have seen
Aggro Shaman.
aggro, mid-range, and even control on this stream at least.
Yeah, one Concede Shaman.
Yeah. And we have seen Dragon Priest and Dragon Warrior as well, I think. Even though the Dragon Warrior is now also quite influenced by pirates, so
Yes.
pirates really strong at the moment. I'm still wondering when they will introduce the ninjas to Hearthstone, because the pirates have reigned really, really long here, and as we know from Warcraft, especially, there's quite the rivalry going on between the two, and the good old Noggenfall, who was introduced in Gatgetsan as well.
I can see the next aggro meter with the ninjas.
Yeah, there was the ogre ninja, right? The rogue card that had a 50% chance to attack the wrong target. So, but he didn't have the subtype ninja, so they're still a little bit behind to joining Hearthstone. Okay, so we just got information who the players are going to be that we will be casting. We'll be casting Omino versus Iniven, I think. Iniven, yeah. So we can now take a look at the deck lists, maybe.
Omino from Moscow and Iniven from Milan.
Yeah. So the first one is the basically normal
Pirate Warrior.
Pirate Warrior. The next deck is a Dragon Priest, with the highest card being Ragnaros the Fire Lord. Then we have a Miracle Rogue with 2 questing adventurers, and we see a Jade Shaman.
That's the aggro shaman with Aya,
aggro list. Okay, and let's see. That is for Omino from Russia, I think.
Yes.
From Moscow. So the other one was
Iniven
Milan.
from Milan, Italy.
And even, let's see what he is bringing. Whoops. Okay, here we go.
Miracle Rogue. Also the Pirate Warrior, I think. The exact same deck list. And
also at least a really similar list for Shaman.
Yes, with one Aether Drake and a Reno Mage.
Yeah, so the only difference is for the Reno Mage and a Priest for Ominous. What was his name? Omino. So yeah, the difference is Iniven has the Mage and Omino has the Priest, and otherwise their deck lists are fairly similar. So do you have any preferences or information about that?
I think if I had to bet some money, I would say that we won't see any shamans in the next round. So I think they will be banned.
Yeah.
And then, I think the Dragon Priest has quite a good matchup against the Reno Mage. So yeah, that could be interesting. But he can also, the Dragon Priest 50-50 maybe for the Shaman, or a little bit worse, but you can say that the other one can counter the matchup from the other one, so can be interesting too. Like almost every game that was casted today is we saw 5 games.
Yeah. And one thing I find really interesting as well is that it feels like a lot of the participants from one location still play different decks. So it is not like they said, okay, so these are the 4 decks and we are basically sure that these are the 3 best decks at the moment, or the best decks to counter your opponent, and we will only be playing these 4 decks. Every one of us will be playing them, but it seems everyone has like their own flavors. We see a lot of the sames, of course, but as there's like, how many are? It's like 7 or 8 maybe decks that are currently in the meta being played. And we see all of them for all the players, but in different versions. So it's not like everyone from one location said, okay, these are the 3 decks or 4 decks, and we will be bringing them, and we will be completely trusting into them,
Yeah.
basically.
True. So there we can see the final bracket.
Yeah.
Bordeaux also in the semifinals, waiting for the opponent, and our semifinal Moscow versus Milan.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Esbjerg lost, even though they had Höy. So
yeah.
didn't have enough in the end, but hopefully they still enjoyed it. And I mean, their result is still top 8, which means they are better than 50% of the locations participating in the event. So not the worst result you can get here. Yeah, and as you already mentioned, we probably will not be seeing the shamans for both sides. So I think we've already seen the mage versus priest also once on stream.
Yeah.
So maybe that is something to judge from. But the difference here is that the last priest list that we had, I think, curved out on Draconite Operative, while this priest list we saw before had one Bookworm and Ragnaros as well.
Yeah.
So a few differences there, and also I think the mage list is a little bit different. Yeah, we definitely did not have a Burgly Bully in the other one.
I saw a Berkeley before one time, I think, but I don't know which player it was, but
otherwise I think the deck list is quite similar.
it's a good combo. You can get some coins for Archmage and Tonidas for some free fireballs, so
yeah, fireballs are nice.
yes, and it's hard to remove for Arena Warlock or something like that, so
yeah,
definitely a card you can tech in. So
yeah, and probably one of the cards that spells the end of a lot of new players' Fireball, because it's one of the best cards you get early on in Hearthstone. So throwing them to the face of the opponent to burst them for 12 damage is quite likely to happen on if you start out with Hearthstone.
yes.
Yeah, I hope the players are getting ready. I don't know if we have any update about that, but then we will of course start the game as soon as possible. I think one thing to mention here once again maybe is that how the group stages basically work, or the matches work. So we have 3 players per location, and every player is playing a best of 5 against one player of another location. Both players have 4 decks, so one deck is being banned and the other 3 are being played in conquest format. So to win the best of 5, you have to win with one of each one time with each of your classes. And in the end, the most important thing is which location won more of the best of 5s. So the location that wins 2 of the 3 best of plays being played will be the one advancing to the finals in this case, or to the next round in general. So even though we might see a win for one side here, they might lose the other 2 matches that we are not watching and could still not advance. Yeah, and that's basically it. We have already done this format the entire day, and I think it worked out really well so far with all the participants and also all the organization, of course, and thanks to all the people that helped here and in our studio and also all around Europe to organize the matches and make it possible that it runs as fluently as it does, and especially all the matches, and you have to find the opponent and somewhere else basically in Europe without just talking with Skype, and making sure that everyone buns the right thing and everyone has the right decks to play then and so on, and it's quite a lot of effort in there. We can see it all here in the background. So
a lot of organization in the background and messaging around and
and as we now know the bans for the match, so you were right, no shamans today. Both getting banned out, and I think we are nearly ready to get into the game. We are just messaging the players, but as you said, both shamans are being banned. Is there any deck that you find particularly helpful to start with into this? So is there a deck like, would you say, that has a really good lineup against everything from the opponent? So it's just a good way to scout what your opponent wants to play and maybe get a win even.
I think we could see a warrior mirror match, because you don't, as Iniven, you don't want to play with the Reno Mage against the priest, and you also don't want to play with the rogue against the warrior, because the pirate warrior can smoke you down, and the risk is too high. And then the mirror match, it's almost only luck and the draw that decide, but or maybe Iniven will start with the Reno Mage and hopes that Omino uses the rogue or the warrior, and that he can get the mage through before he has to play against the dragon priest. But it's a tough decision.
And it is a lot. Oftentimes, it is the first match. Winning the first match gives you quite the advantage, because if you consider that everyone has a deck that is really good to counter one of the opponent's decks, then winning the first one can be the one deciding. Because if you then afterwards just counter always the opponent once, everyone counters and everyone counters, then winning the first one is the one that decides in the end who wins the best of 5. That's of course a little bit more true in the last hero standing format than in the conquest format, but still, even in this format, it can be really important to secure the first victory, and therefore start with an advantage, because you already know that you have one deck secured and can base your next decision of the deck upon knowing that you don't have to use this deck anymore. So still waiting. I hope the game will be starting soon.
Maybe because of that tough decision, it takes a little bit of time, because they have to decide which deck should I play.
And you are streaming as well in German sometimes. Do you have any other experience with casting, like an event like this before, or are you mostly a streamer?
I mostly play by myself, but I also casted some online tournaments at Strifewire.
Okay. I think it is always really interesting to see how much can go into something like the like a project like this, and it is also really I think you learn a lot if you're casting a game about how different it is from playing yourself, because you have to think about a lot of different things than in the game itself, because in the game itself you only know your side of the competition basically, and that makes quite a difference to knowing both sides and therefore knowing what the optimal play would be, but then also having to think about but if you don't know this situation, what would you do then, and so on. So it's a really interesting experience for me. It was when I started casting for the first time.
I noticed that for me too.
And we actually got a picture from all the competitors from Russia, so we will be showing you that on stream really shortly to show you who is actually participating and who we will be streaming. So I think we have to move our heads a little bit so that you can see the names over here, and
there's Omino.
Over there, and Alex we already casted before over there. So Yeah, maybe they're getting a lot of fans now because when you know the face of somebody, it's easier to cheer for them than just for a name. And yeah, we will be hopefully if in the Fireside Gathering Brawl 2017 number 2.
Number 2.
We will have the pictures of all the participants ready like that because that's really really awesome. It looks nice, I would say. Okay.
Oh.
Is that already our game going on? I think so. Okay,
Yes.
we are already in the game and turn 4 already started. So yeah, that's actually quite a few turns. We see that Iniven is a little bit behind on the life total.
And like I said, the Warrior Mirror
Yeah.
has been played right now, and on the first look, it's okay. Yeah, it's a hard decision for anyone, so you can't. You have to face tank. That red Corsair can do something else, and we can see the Corcon and oh, he has a that's 8 damage to the face again, and the Reaper top decked. So
yeah. Looking bad here for Iniven and really really good for Moscow already. That would secure them the first point on the way to the final.
It's not lethal yet, but he has to drop the Corsair, and I think. Oh, is that enough? Yes.
That's.
No, one mana.
Yeah, he is missing 1 mana, but still a really really comfortable position for him here, and I think that is really hard to come back from that position in this matchup.
Almost impossible. Yeah. Yeah, he gives up.
Somehow you don't tag Rhinos into these decks. I don't know why, but nobody does it. Okay, yeah, sorry for that, for missing the first part of that game, of course.
But
yeah, we had a really nice graphic of the Russian players who just... Now, you saw him smile on the picture, and he probably is smiling now because he just secured his first point. And...
yeah, we only missed some smog face damage, and on the other side smog face damage, and one of them won, so...
And it's probably something you've seen on your ladder games before, so...
Okay. So now... Omino chooses the Dragon Priest against the Warrior.
Yeah.
And...
I think the Shadowward Pain is a good card for the early game.
Yes.
And then you always face the trouble of... Do you want to keep a high dragon, a dragon that is high cost because you need 1 dragon to enable a lot of your early game cards? Or do you want to toss it and try to get something else that is good in the early game by itself? So that is probably why he's considering and hovering over the Bookworm.
A Twilight Dragon would be much better, but
yeah.
you can also keep the Bookworm, but maybe you don't have time.
Yeah. On the other side, we see a complete toss for Iniven. I think that was to be expected. You want to have the early game drops from the deck, and...
But that's a really nice hand from Omino.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Buccaneer top deck, that's the Dream Start from the Warrior. You can play the Buccaneer coin and the First Mate, and...
have it something charging out of your deck as well.
Yeah, and then the follow-up with the... 2/3 Pirate Lady is also good.
Bloodsail Raider, I think is her name. Yeah, and we see already Omino hovering over the Shadowward Pain. Something that is definitely needed to stop the bleeding, basically, that the Pirate Warrior is putting out.
I just dropped the Bloodsail and full face again, I think.
Yeah,
I think
looks good to me.
You don't have to think too much about that turn, but...
I mean, it is playing for at least 70 euros, so take your time. That's what it is for in this game.
Yeah.
And I think we're actually really good on schedule, so we don't have to pressure the players to play fast because of that anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to use Heroic Strike to face tank it. The deckhand also a good top deck, so you can push face damage again.
Yeah, and that's another 7 damage to the face. But as we see, Omino already picked up the Twilight Aegir Drake in the turn before, which allows his Twilight Guardian to get taunt, which is really important here. Otherwise, this turn would have been quite awkward if he would not have drawn a dragon.
That's quite a good top deck. So
Yeah.
you definitely play the captain, trade with the 4/4. Ah, okay. He plays around Holy Nova there for the next turn.
Yeah.
So I think he doesn't have time to wait for Deathwing there.
I don't think he will reach Deathwing in this game.
No.
Not with the tempo it is having at the moment. Already the Ragnaros sits there and looks rather expensive, so waiting 2 more turns is not an option.
No. You can play the Cultist and the Corsair and push face damage, keep the Corcon maybe.
You have lethal with a Cochrane, right?
Oh, I didn't even...
Yeah, that's lethal.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Yeah. Once again, Pirate Warrior.
Was too fast.
Short and quick games. Yeah. I think we saw 1 victory by Priest in 1 game, but in overall the Pirate Warrior is leading in the Priest versus Warrior matchup, I think, at least in Fireside Gathering Brawl 2017. But now that we are done with the Warriors, we will be seeing another mirror matchup actually. So you already mentioned you feel it's rather luck-based with the opening hand, the draws that you get. So what do you think are the cards you really want to get in this matchup? What are the cards that win you the games?
Yeah, of course, always a big Advent or questing at the start is awesome. So if there's no... I mean, the rogue can zap it, but if there's no zap, you almost won the game because you can push so much damage and the rogue can't heal himself. So that would be the best, I think. And yeah, of course, a fast start like Buccaneer.
Yeah.
No.
I think both the conceits are not the best cards to probably draw in the early game, because you want to use them once you have your big and important minions, not
in the Auctioneer.
Yeah, and yeah, early game happening as you would expect it. Patches for both sides, charging out of the deck and dealing a little bit of damage.
And now you just have
clear
to
the board with your weapon.
Face tank it again.
Yeah,
it's not the best, but so you have 8 damage to your face on turn 2 in a rogue mirror. That's not that great, but
yeah. But a weak turn here for Omino, I would say, because you don't want to drop the questing without buffing it through some of your spells. So only the only option here is to armor up, dagger up basically.
Yeah. A Tomb Pillager is okay. We don't see Eviscerate to clear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
he just top deck, same one. And
Tomb Pillager on the other side as well.
And another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Omino actually already has a lot of damage in his hand. He has 8 damage from both of the Code Bloods. But at the moment, Iniven is holding the board control. He could trade now and play his next minion.
Yeah.
So
he has to because he can't take any further face damage.
yeah. But it in the end means that the Cold Bloods are useless unless you draw another card that stays on the board or has charge.
Mm.
Thank you.
Maybe. Yeah, I wanted to say he can coin the Buccaneer because he needs board control and damage, and
Yeah.
but that's quite good for Omino. And how much
Yeah.
damage is it in the next turn? I think should
It's
be.
already 9, so it's another. Yeah, it's lethal.
Yeah, and
Because it's 4 from the Cold Blood, 2 more cards being played is 6 more damage. 7 more, 6 more damage. And then he has, it's not possible, not always lethal, but in a lot of situations it should be lethal, I think. It's 3 is 12. Yeah,
Cold Blood is 4 damage, right?
4 damage plus 2 from the both of the cards is 6, and then 1 from the dagger would be 7, and he would be 1 off. So he needs to draw 1 card for something. And the backstab is enough.
That's it.
Yeah. Once again, a really, really fast game here.
And Moscow, Omino from Moscow, 2-1.
Yeah.
That means he only
Needs
needs to win with his priest.
Yeah.
And the chances are really high against the Reno Mage, and he can also win against the Rogue, so will be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but you would probably use the Rogue against the Priest first? As you said, the matchup as the Mage isn't that good, or?
Yeah, at this point, you can use whatever you want because you have to win with both decks against
Yeah.
the Dragon Priest, but yeah, I think if you... Yeah, I think I would choose the Rogue first, and
Okay. Yeah, so let's see how Iniven decides in the end. And it basically happened how we said it, like player 1 a game, or Russia won a game, then Italy won a game, and now Russia won the game again. So
yeah, we called the start the Warrior Mirror match, and
Yeah.
then they had to pick the Rogue against each other because the other picks maybe then they had a bad matchup, so
yeah. Okay, yeah. So far, everything happening as we said. Or predicted it. But it seems like our players are taking a short break to prepare for the next round. So that gives us some time to once again talk about the tournament in general. And we mentioned it before, but if you really want to if you want to see the locations that are actually participating, you can find it in our chat. There's the FSG. I think is it FSG dot Barcraft HL? I think it is. Barcraft-HL.de. There you can find a page just dedicated to the entire tournament. FSG Brawl, sorry for that. fsgbrawl.barcraft-hl.de is the link. And there you can find all the information about the tournament and a nice map listing all of the locations taking part in the tournament, and you can also go over to the corresponding challenge site that lists the progression of the tournament as it is going so far.
You can find the links from the streams in every language.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of ways to inform yourself about what is going on over here today, and also check out if you have one favorite location which was not shown on stream today. Yeah, basically how they did in the tournament. So yeah, that's something you can use this pause to. Otherwise, of course, you could grab yourself a glass of water to stay hydrated. It's always a good idea as well, because
Water.
I mean, we learned from Viper, who played in August in the HCT in Hamburg, which we hosted as well, that drinking a lot of water gets you into the top 8 of Europe. So maybe one of the recipes to success. I don't know.
He only drank water? No energy drinks or some...
I think he drank one
doping
energy
like that?
drink, but like 4 liters of water. It was really, really amazing. Doesn't have the same effect on me. If I'm drinking water, I play the same as before, but it worked out for him. So, yeah.
Yeah, keep that in mind for the next tournaments.
Yeah. Staying hydrated is always a good idea. Yeah, so that's something you could do. And also there's now, I think in the beginning of February is the next HCT happening.
From
And
10th, 11th, 12th.
yeah, something like that. So then we will be seeing once again really, really high level Hearthstone action with a lot of production value and a lot of popular casters and also players, of course, playing for a chance to play in the global tournament. And after that, we will be having the next rotation of standard. And I think there's nothing announced so far about it. Do you have any special expectations for it? Something you would wish to see, a new mechanic or something like that?
No, the best thing is that there won't be any Reno decks.
Yeah, that's true. So on your list of from Blackrock Mountains, Grand Tournament, and League of Explorers, what are the?
Okay.
Yeah, we will be going back into the game as it is already going on, and in turn 7.
We missed something, but that was only a crash or bug from Hearthstone, so we're sorry for that. And okay, so it.
Yeah, we are seeing the
Rogue drawing cards. He can.
And but you think he already lost one questing adventurer, and yeah, now he of course wants to protect his auctioneer.
Yeah, you could use Eviscerate there, or even
Weapon with the small time Buccaneer.
I think he wants to draw more cards.
Yeah, and it also allows him to go face with a Buccaneer, which is another 3 damage, because he just has 2 mana left to use Dagger Mastery. That's the name of the hero ability.
And he has something on the board, and the Omino needs to get rid of the auctioneer, and So that means another time 2-2.
Yeah.
And we will have a final match. Yes.
Yeah. As we predicted, 2 decks are left. It is Reno Mage from Iniven against the Dragon Priest of Omino. And now it is the deciding match, at least for these two, to score 1 point. And scoring 1 point is really, really nice because it means that only half of your teammates need to win their match for you to advance. And if you are one of the losers, if you win, but the other two are losing their ones, you are not the one to blame, which is also important. Of course, they then can still blame RNG because that's always there. But anything you could tell us about the mulligans happening here? Is there something that? What are the players looking for?
I think, the Dragon Priest wants to curve out really well, always have a body and pressure on the board, and the mage is looking for removal. I think he wants to remove early minions and yes. And now we can see. So it's difficult. So the cleric, you don't want to have it on the board, right?
Yeah.
And the buff is also really good. The top deck. So that's the board you doesn't want to see it as a Reno mage because you almost can't remove the cleric right now.
Yeah.
Has to frostbolt the 2/3.
Yeah, and that is one of the things that gave strength to the priest, that he is able to have really, really sticky early game minions now, especially with the 3 mana card. What's the name of it? That gives you +3 health.
Yes, I know.
That one is really, really helpful as well.
yeah.
If that gets, if you get that buff on the Northshire, then there's this 1/6 sitting in the early game. And you're like, how am I supposed to
Remove that.
remove that? Because if I just damage it, it will draw my opponent cards. And
What's that?
yeah, we are getting photoshopped into some pictures apparently, or stream shopped, however you want to call it. Yeah, and by the other way, the other semi-final is also now running at the moment. So on the other side, there's Bordeaux playing against, what was it? Rome, I think? I think it was Bordeaux versus Rome.
Did they had the opponent? Yeah.
I think Rome was already confirmed, and then
Okay.
the decision was, the question was if Bordeaux could advance as well. Yeah, and there we see the, what was his name? Burley Bully.
Yeah.
Or Burgley Bully. Yeah. And there's the Emperor Thorison, which was hold from the beginning of the hand in the hand, so giving a nice discount here.
And that's a really sticky board from Omino, and
Yeah.
you almost can't remove it as the mage. Flame Strike is... Oh, there's a good top deck. It's Frost Nova Doomsayer is an option, but yeah, you want to use it with the Antonidas to get infinite fireballs.
Yeah.
Okay, and you also can remove... I don't... Okay. He removes the 4/5, but... Okay.
Okay, the art we were shopped into was given to us or sent to us by SBX, so
Hoy
thank you.
drawed it by himself, I think.
Thank you for
While
that, guys from
playing.
SBX.
You wish to
Kabul Talent Priest. Now
That's
we know
the
the
name.
name.
Yeah.
So, but you have 3 fireballs, but what do you want to do with them? It's
You can use 2 of them, or you could use Flame Strike.
Flame Strike and then
What to do? What to do?
Potion, but
Yeah, that's
it's
6 damage. That
it's
clears.
still not enough for the Drake.
But it clears more. Flame Strike Potion clears more
Yeah.
than using the
I think
fireballs.
it's the only option. So
Yeah.
he can use Fireball in the next turn for the Drake, or so as a priest. Yeah, you have to play the Draconite. See what you
Yeah.
get. Oh, another Kazakos. But
I think I mean, Kazakos is really not that good in the Dragon Priest because you have a
at
lot of
this
cards.
point you want to get some face damage, and the Fire Lens Portal is face damage and a minion on the board, so I think you could use it because you don't have any other burst damage cards which you can use in the same turn, but he chooses the torch. He can combine that with the Holy Nova, and if the dragon will survive, but I don't think that the
No.
Aether Drake will survive this turn.
You know that there's the 2 fireballs, so but that's still lethal, right? With the Roaring Torch.
Torch is
Yeah,
6
so
damage.
you have to play the Dirty Red to survive.
It's
that's
6
lethal.
damage and
Yeah.
easy game for
Yeah.
Omino.
I think that was one of the fastest games I've casted today. Even the control versus control deck, the mage did not have his turn 10, so
it was
really fast game there.
the priest had minion after minion after minion, could buff the minions, and
Yeah.
the mage hadn't any chances to remove it, and
Yeah,
that's
so
why I said the priest has a quite good matchup against
yeah,
the mage, and
so congratulations to Moscow and no, we don't know if Moscow is advancing, but congratulations, of course, for
to Omino.
Omino for winning his series so far. So that means that Moscow has at least scored 1 point, and if we have any updates on who the other 2 participants from Moscow played against the other 2 participants from Milan, we will of course inform you ASAP and tell you who will advance to the finals. And as already mentioned, the other match is going on at the moment, but it just started, so it might take a little longer and to finish, and then afterwards they will probably be granted a small break so that they don't have to go directly into the next match, and then we will be, of course, showing the finals as well. But I think for the finals you will once again see Harlequin and Nivo here on the mainstream, while we will be going back to the German stream and we'll be casting on the German stream. And of course you can check out the German stream on twitch.tv/barcraft_HLDE, and you can also go to the Italian stream at twitch.tv/Spazio Games, that is SPAZEO Games, and for the Spanish stream you could go to twitch.tv/use sports or EUS esports. Yeah. So EUS and then esports.
One more game, Milan versus Moscow, or what?
Okay. So there's still a game going on in Milan versus Moscow, and we will be going in there and we'll be showing you that really soon. We can take a look at the... Whoops, sorry, that's the wrong mouse. At the
Someone didn't ban
decks.
Shaman. Interesting.
Yeah, so we have Alex playing once again, and he's playing against Snowman. We can take a look at the decks of Snowman. So he's playing also the Pirate Warrior, the Face Shaman, the Miracle Rogue, and the Reno Mage.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, yeah. So all the Milan guys brought the same decks, brought the same 3 decks.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently they still did not ban the same opponents, the same decks from their opponents. And from Moscow, we once again have Alex.
Alex MM. Reno.
Is Reno, a Reno Warlock, Face Pirate Warrior, Miracle Rogue, and I think that was the Conceit Shaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And
Conceit Shaman.
Death Rattle, Conceit, Endor, Shaman.
So that might be the reason why the Shaman isn't banned here.
Okay. So you can see the Rogue from Alex against the Shaman. But the Shaman is favored there, but it looks in the first.
And I think we have a bug there. The Pharaoh Spirits are really, really looking forward to being played here. Or maybe our mouse is... No? Okay, so...
One card is hovering.
I don't know what exactly the reason is for that, but...
Oh, it's okay. It's the final match. The scores is 2-2.
yeah.
2-2, and it's the final game. Okay.
Okay,
So-
yeah. So you say the Shaman is favored in the matchup in general?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Oh wait, it's also Alex who is bringing the Conceit Shaman. It is Snowman playing the Shaman, so it's not the Conceit Shaman that we are seeing at the moment. It's
Yeah.
the Aggro Shaman.
yes.
I did not realize that up until now.
Okay, but is the okay? He decides to don't play the 4 mana 7/7 on turn 4 because he's afraid of the zap, and he has both of them right now. But the Flame Tongue also. Okay, now he.
He is hoping for a miracle, but there's no miracle today.
And it's so much damage from his hand, the burst.
Yeah. This will be game already. So just a
Okay.
short glimpse into what happened between Snowman and
Just
Alex.
Small show of shaman thing.
Yeah.
So
And interesting, we switched the position of the player. So this time Snowman from Milan was on top, which means that it
yeah.
is now 1-1 for what we know. And then of course we still had Kenzie playing against Kenzie from Moscow playing against one moment against Romeos from Milan. And yeah, we don't know the result of that match yet. But I think they have actually brought the exact same lineups. No, it is Tempo Mage. Okay, so it was once again Shaman for both, Rogue for both, Warrior for both, and then Tempo Mage and Reno Mage.
Okay, so
Okay, yeah, the last one, this match we were just talking about, is still going on. We will be not watching that one. We will be going into the Rome versus Bordeaux games.
so the other semifinal.
Yeah, and yeah, that will be happening in just a really short time, and
Okay.
there will be just a really short break. So see you in a bit.